Good morning, everyone. This is Nikachu, Merfolk Master, and we are here with day 109 of Coffee and MTG, the morning talk show where you brew up the coffee, where I brew up the coffee. We both brew up the coffee, and we talk some magic. We also brew up the magic conversation, whether it's Decklist or conversate or any sort of discussion, latest events. We most definitely could talk a little bit more about that secret lair because the secret lair has produced a lot of controversy. But what was very interesting was the feedback that Wizards of the Coast got on their live show. They tried to address a lot of issues, which actually I thought was very useful. I don't think people gave Wizards enough credit in this spot. A lot of people were very angry with the Walking Dead promotion from Secret Lair. And I think Wizards of the Coast did address it addressed it well enough anyway. There's a lot of questions answered that, like, for example, these are not going to be pseudo reserve list cards. So these Walking Dead cards, they will never be printed in the certain image and foiling and whatever as it is there, but they do actually have the ability to reprint this card in exact function, but in another form somewhere else. They pretty much said they want to continue making other intellectual properties into MTG. Yes, they absolutely did say that. And like, it was sort of funny to watch this thing because they were so deflated, especially Aaron Forsythe. Like, he looked not good. Like, there's, and at first I thought the same people were spamming messages into the chat, and then I eventually, and to some extent that was true, but there actually were a lot of different people spamming. It was just the same message. They were repeating a past quote by an MTG artist that direct selling to their consumers would be like a cash grab. Anyway, I don't have the exact quote, but they were spamming it constantly. It was to insinuate that they had run out of ideas. But anyway, it was a very interesting presentation. They were surprised by the feedback. I don't think there was a single positive comment in that MTG show, but we could talk a little bit more about that. Good morning, Grim Ducky, and still have blurry eyes. Yes, I'm just clearing my blurry eyes are up right now with my coffee. The first sip is always the best sip. So grab your cup of coffee or whatever, wherever you are in this world, morning, afternoon, or evening, whatever makes you feel good to discuss Magic today. You go bring it, and we'll bring the Magic discussion. Yeah, so initially I didn't think I was going to make like any Secret Lair Walking Dead video because I had nothing really to add. I think almost everybody's concerns were on the table. Everyone, and already there have been quite a few videos and content on it. But maybe I could make something dissecting the what do they call it? It was like a MTG. What was it called? Magic the Gathering Weekly MTG. That's what it's called, Weekly MTG. Blake is joined by Aaron Forsythe and Mark Hagan to discuss the new Secret Lair drop. And boy, they couldn't even smile. They could not even smile that entire time. I don't know what to say. It was like a group of people realized, oh my god, we fucked up. Not only that, they already know what's happening in the future. Like, the Godzilla thing probably was just the first of many things to come in the future. Because, I mean, I think they already planned like a year ahead a lot of this stuff. So it's not like Secret Lair came out of nowhere. Like, hey, let's make a Secret Lair Walking Dead. 2 weeks later, oh, it's on the shelf. It's more like a year ago, let's do this. Now it's being produced. So they already know what's coming down in the pipeline. And the Magic player, they're not very happy about it. D&D is about the only intellectual property I don't mind in Magic. I have zero desire to play a game infested with other IPs. Let's see what happens. Maybe the other IPs, I mean, it will hurt their core. So it's like, it's going to hurt or I don't know about hurt. Personally, like, I'm not going anywhere. Like, I'm not going to quit the game over this. Not by a long shot. But how do I put it? Whoops, I gotta move. I gotta get out of this talk show channel, get into the Magic channel. Beautiful. I'm not going anywhere. The game might start to get a little weird and a bit dumb, but whatever. It's just another thing that Wizards has done that not everyone's going to agree with. I guess what's going to happen is, can they attract more players through this than they're going to lose from their original core audience? And it's not like it is a bad idea, because you don't want to upset your like core audience, your OG audience. I mean, those are the people who have been with you for forever. There's no guarantee that someone from The Walking Dead is going to pick up Magic and then stick to it for forever. They'll stick to The Walking Dead and watching the show, and they might just play this game once in a while like they play anything else. Like us Magic players, we are obsessed. We're fucking obsessed with this game. I think about like all the adults that I see at the local game store who have families, who have jobs, but they make sure that they take a huge chunk out of their life to go to that local game store to play online or whatever, or to make that tournament, make it to the GP. We're obsessed. Like, we are absolutely obsessed with this. Cardboard crack is right. So I don't know if you want to disturb that audience that is addicted so much. Good morning, David. I think they said they started planning a normal set 3 years in advance. Yeah. Well, no. Maybe a long time ago it was like that, but they work a little bit faster. I think it's about 2 years now. But secret layers are not sets. So they might have made the secret layer even 6 months from now. But they can make these things a lot faster than they do a set. It's not quite the same thing. Finalized the year before release. Salmon of No Doubt. Hey, Nikachu, working from home this afternoon. Have a good stream. Thank you very much, Salmon. And also good luck with the work. Have fun. It's just it, though. I'm obsessed with this game, and I'm not obsessed with a game that brings on Godzilla and The Walking Dead and whatever else. What's wrong with Godzilla? Like, I'm personally, I'm still in the boat of, I really like the Godzilla design. So if you like Godzilla, great. You can play with the Godzilla cards. But it's like, it's basically an artist alter created by Wizards of the Coast, because that is not the actual card. You are not actually up against Godzilla, Death Corona. You're not up against, was it Dorat? So the one I can the most relate to is the Sprite Dragon one, because this actually sees modern play. Sprite Dragon. Yeah, Dorat, the perfect pet. Flying Haste. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a +1/+1 counter on Sprite Dragon. That feels weird. It's actually in the text box, but whatever. No problem. And so it's the exact card, but it's got a different art. It's got a special name attached to it. It's like they named the Sprite Dragon. I'm fine with that. Can I find Godzilla cards if I just look up Godzilla? Oh, yeah. So what was this? This was supposed to be the Brocus Apex Forever. I don't know any of these other cards. Void Beckoner. Just only because like these Godzilla cards don't see like any actual play. I'm just familiar with Dorat, the perfect pet, only because it's Sprite Dragon. I have no problem with this. I have no problem with that at all. Because it doesn't feel that much different. Well, first off, it doesn't feel that much different from someone altering the card anyway. And we all know that what the original card means. Dorat feels like it could be in an MTG set with a non-Godzilla name. Well, it is. It's called Sprite Dragon. Or are you talking about the actual creature? What have you thought about Glasspool in Simic? Too slow? I think there's 1.50 recently. Yeah, I think it's too slow. I think it goes against what Simic wants to do. Like, I play a lot of Simic, and let's just say with Mono Blue, with Regery, there's a lot of games still that I have to go turn 1 Glasspool when I would like to play the Benthic Biomancer, because I don't have any other lands in my hand, or I have one other land. So I'm going to, instead of playing turn 1 Benthic Biomancer and risk doing nothing on turn 2, I would rather play Glasspool turn 1 and then start playing Lords or Silvergill Adept on turn 2 and forego playing the Benthic Biomancer. But when you're playing Simic and you got that Kumena Speaker in hand, that defeats the purpose of going Simic. just completely defeats the purpose of going Simic. So I don't want to do that. And on top of that, if you want to fit the Glass Pool in the deck, you are going to get nailed hard by Blood Moon when it shows up. I'm sure you're going to still have game anyway, but you're still going to get hurt really hard by Blood Moon when it comes up, because the only way that you're going to make the green mana work while still playing Glass Pool Mimic is you're going to have to kick out basic lands. Got to kick out basic islands. Now, can you throw it in? Because Simic is just a strong archetype right now. Like I've been promoting Simic for like a year now, and Simic is very, very strong right now. It's very, very good. And throwing Glasspool Mimic may not handicap it by much. Or maybe even adding it as land number 21 and 22. I didn't explore that enough. That's a possibility. But it just does not seem to be the card that I want to have in Simic Merfolk. The deck doesn't need to get to 3 mana, like, say, Mono Blue, because I need to get to Rejiri. So having the extra mana sources don't matter as much, and it's not, well, then it's just not worth the threat density. Oh, it's a tough, like, maybe I need to play test it more, but I just, in theory, and the one league I had, it didn't work out for me. It's not more threat it's, well, is it? So in my version of Simic, I had to kick out Smuggler's Copter for this card. And Smuggler's Copter also deals with threat density. So all I'm going to do is replace 2 lands. So you do make it a little bit more threat dense, but you make your deck way more clunky. And the purpose of Simic Merfolk is to be lean and fast. You get your games because you go turn 1 Commander Speaker, turn 2 Lord, turn 3 Lord, and you win the next turn. If you don't have that turn 1 Commander Speaker, you might as well play Mono Blue. That's all I would say. You might as well play Mono Blue. If you're going to forego the turn 1 creature into turn 2 Lord, turn 3 Lord, just go the Rejiri route. Wizards of the Coast is slow, but I think they will get the message, even with all the money they have. They can only resist so long with the constant barrage of criticism. Furthermore, it's probably the suits who push for this bullshit, and then they throw Morrow and other people and the other who probably aren't really okay with this stuff, like, under the bus to do damage control. I would pay money to see what's happening inside Wizards of the Coast headquarters. From what I heard, it's really scattered. Like, there's just a million different departments, and it's really fragmented. I mean, I don't know exactly how it is, but that seems to be the case. Just based on how they operate, it seems like it, it's just like how they say, they say one thing and they do another. That's because there's just so many different heads working at once, fragmented, not really working together, that one department can screw up and then apologize, but then another department will do the same damn thing because they didn't really learn the lesson, because they didn't make the mistake in the first place. So they have communication. I think they have communication issues with inside the company. Xeon, what do you think about Hex Drinker in... I'm not exactly sure what you're referring to. You're talking about Merfolk? Hex Drinker. 1 mana card from Modern Horizons, can level up. I tried this in Merfolk. Didn't work out. Just did not work out. Was the fact that it did not have evasion was a big deal. And... yeah, that's about it. I think the card is good. I think the card is underrated. It did see quite a bit of play when it got released, because everyone was interested to see how it was going to do. And of course, on an empty board, this thing's going to be amazing. I've lost a Hex Drinker many times. Might still need a place. I guess that's big. The biggest problem with Hex Drinker right now is Lava Dart. Although that might be, at least that was Hex Drinker's biggest problem in the last 3 months. Because Lava Dart, like, skyrocketed thanks to the Prowess decks, and Prowess is everywhere. Now, Prowess is collapsing by a lot. It's still a big deck in the metagame, but it's not, like, everywhere like it was a little while ago. So maybe Hex Drinker can come back to prominence, but I don't know if is the camera getting shaky? Or is there some stabilizer in here? There's a train going by, and it's shaking everything. Anyway, so Hex Drinker is a playable card, but the 1 toughness is a deal breaker pending the metagame. But it's a strong card. Definitely saw play before. I think it's a good card, but it's just not well positioned at the moment. Good morning, Simic Atlantis. Alters are special and unique to the person who commissioned it and the artist. Official crossovers in black border are too corporate and take the magic out of the experience. I mean, I would prefer that card, yeah, again, goes to the silver border range. But they addressed it saying there were a lot of popular silver border cards that wanted to see play in Commander, but they didn't want people to ask permission to play them. Let me get back here. They didn't want. I don't know if anyone saw the weekly MTG stream. I saw the whole thing. They did not. They wanted to give players the option to play these cards basically in Commander without having to ask the play group, hey, is this okay? Can I play this silver border card? Can I play this proxy card? There's like, do you want this? We're going to make this a real card. But they could have just said it was like banned in Legacy. I don't know how to make this an official Commander card without making it legal in Vintage or Legacy. Not too sure. But it just seems strange to dump this into the Eternal formats. I'm glad it dodged Modern. That's all I can say. Whew! Missed my format. Yeah, I meant the art. Well, if you pay an extra 8, he has the ultimate evasion. Yes, but you have to pay the extra 8. Paying the extra, that's the hard part, paying the extra 8. And you usually have like some mana left over or whatever. Per turn, but still it costs quite a bit. Getting to the 3 is not too bad, protection from instants, but there's a lot of stuff that can still kill it. They should just put the MTG name under the title block like Godzilla. Well, I mean, but then they need to make an official card for these. And they sort of address this, saying they didn't know how to design this card to be the way they wanted it to be in the Walking Dead style while still being a Magic card somewhere else. They did address that they considered it, they thought about it, and they just ended up not doing it. Well, then they failed, because if I face these cards in Commander ever, I'm just not going to play. Well, you just ban it from your play. I mean, I think that's an easy solution in Commander. you just ban it in your play group. I mean, unless you go to Commander tournaments, which I don't know. Do they even exist? Do 4-player Commander decks even exist? Commander tournaments exist at all? You'd rather allow them as a silver border. I think it's just going to be. I think what's going to end up happening is that these Walking Dead cards are going to be pseudo silver border. They might end up like there's so much outrage. It's funny. Wizards of the Coast wanted to prevent people from asking their play group if they could play these cards, but they failed in that way because they're probably going to be asking for permission anyway. Hey, can I play with this Walking Dead card? I know a lot of people hate this card. Am I allowed to play it in this play group? Play group's going to say yes or no. So they're still going to have to ask for permission. Are any of them good enough for Legacy/Vintage, or is it Precedent that concerns? It's Precedent mostly. One of the, like, you never know when something's going to see play. On the surface, it won't see play. Maybe in some Alurin deck, I don't know. It's possible, but for the most part, they're unplayable at the moment. Here's the thing. Wizards has done this before, where they print unplayable cards as like a promo, but then Nexus of Fate happened. Nexus of Fate... I think this was a case where they thought they made another unplayable card. Oh, it's 7 mana. It will never see play. And then it saw all the play. It was a high demand card. It broke Standard. It broke Historic. Still sees play in Modern. Fringe play, but play nonetheless. So at 7 mana, it looks like this... Like on the surface, yeah, that we don't need to play test this. No one's going to play this at 7 mana. This is just for the Commander kids. Everyone needs this in the Standard Pro Tour. Shit, what have we done? And only in foil. Only exists in foil. At the moment. Maybe we'll see this in Modern Horizons in non-foil. The people who are upset the most are Commander players. The Rules Committee could actually ban this stuff. Oh yeah, that's true. What is the level up mechanic? You know what, Ugly Hood Rat? You are so charming when you ask these questions. So this is how it works. You can level up has a cost. Here it's 1 generic. So if you pay the 1, you get a level counter. Now, if you pay 3 level counters, you can only pay them at sorcery speed. You get extra abilities on the cards. So at level 3 to 7, this Hex Drinker goes from a 2/1 creature to a 4/4 and has protection from instants. And then if you can get Hex Drinker to level 8 or more, Hex Drinker has protection from everything and is a 6/6. So you have like a true name nemesis on the battlefield. That is what the level up mechanic is. It's okay. It's okay. Level up ended up being like a clunky mechanic for competitive play. This is probably the most competitive level up card that there exists. You just need a name like Promo Godzilla. It has a name but no card. I think there needs to be a real card at the end, because otherwise it's just promo Walking Dead cards. Do you go to Commander tournaments where you're like randomly thrown in a pod? I mean, I know that's how it works in what's called at a Command Fest. Hey, quick question for everyone. Do you think at a GP they would let me play in the command zone without a badge? Because I might bring a commander deck to a GP just in case some fans want to play some commander. But let's be serious. I'm not going to play that much commander, so I'm not going to buy the badge. So if I just went up to like the person in charge and said, hey, I'm a famous MTG personality, just let me in. Do you think they'll do it? Do you think they will let me into the command zone? If anyone doesn't know, at a Magic Fest, they like strip off an area for commander players, and you need the special commander badge to get in. I'm not paying that. I don't even know what it costs, but I'm not paying it. No, I'm not famous enough. They'll just tell me to go fuck off. Even if there's like a play group in there that has the commander badges and wants me to play with them. Hydrosa, just got here. How's your day going? Day so far is doing well. Technically, Nexus should have had more print than any other mythic in the set. Yeah, probably. Oh, how can I forget? Coral Helm Commander. And this card actually, maybe this is the most. Is this the best? Maybe this is the one level up card that has actually seen the most competitive play. M. Hayashi has literally made many 5-0s with this. There are actual GP top 32s, top 16s with this card. Bring a camera and they'll be extra nice. Badges, we don't need no stinking badge. Like, I'm not buying the commander badge. I'm there for the GP and for the other side events. Hydros, yeah, we were just talking. The first 20 minutes was just talking about that. Did we see the shit show that was the Twitch stream became? It was just ridiculous. I'm gonna make some video about that, like me just eating chips and just watching I was barely paying attention to what they were talking about on the show because I was mostly looking at the Twitch chat. Maybe we can even bring it up. Well, you probably can't see it. We probably can't see it very well here. What show? The MTG Weekly show. They were addressing the Walking Dead cards, like the big names: Aaron Forsythe. Who else was there? Blake and Mark Hagan. Yeah, the chat was hilarious. I loved it. Godzilla, King of Monsters, has no real card to match the name under its title block. Is that true? There's something here. So is this not a card? Zilortha, Strength Incarnate. So there is some sort of imaginary card. Because there's only one printing here. So what do I look? Zalortha. If I look up Zalortha, it just brings me back here. It just brings, okay. So this is actually a BS card. This is literally a Godzilla card with with nothing under, with like no other intellectual property underneath it that we can see. Who is this Zalortha? Zalortha exists only as a Godzilla promo. That is bizarre. Why would they do that? When is the Zalortha card going to come out? Like in a Future Sight 2? I would love to see more Future Sight cards, by the way, getting printed like into Standard, as if they were actually predicting the future. It was a buy. It was a buy. Oh, it was the buy box promo. So there are cards that can't be countered. Would it be okay to print things that negate that? Well, we have pseudo stuff like that. El Rodeo San. We have Ether Gust. And we have cards that exile spells. So the mechanic exists. We have like put the stuff back on top of their library. We have things that bounce it back to their hand. Yeah, we have Venser. Like this deals with uncounterable stuff. When Venser enters the battlefield, return target spell or permanent to its owner's hand, and then we have exile. What's a good exiling? I don't know if this is a good search. No, that didn't work. I can't think of because it's not many. Text exile target spell. Here we go. Ashiok's Eraser, Flash, and ETB exile target spell. Your opponent can't. And actually, this comes with a ton of other stuff. There's other cards though. Where's? Oh, here we go. Delay. Oh, it says counter target spell? No. There is a very serious... There's like one with Storm. This is stupid. Oh, Spell Queller is a good... But I'm looking one for blue. But yeah, we might as well go with Spell Queller, sure. Mind Break Trap is what I was thinking of. That was the one I was looking for. Thank you very much, Werebear Activist. But we got Spell Queller, ETB, exile target spell, converted mana cost 4 or less, and Mind Break Trap. I guess it wasn't. It's probably exile all spells or exile any number of spells. That's why I couldn't find it. Unsubstantiate does not exile, but again does return something to their hand, return target spell or creature to its hand. So that, yeah, there are multiple ways that blue has around uncounterable cards. Yeah, they forgot to print the Zalortha dude. They did forget. I guess, okay, so in the grand scheme of things, I guess this was a solution. There is like a theoretical card that is based on, that this Godzilla King of Monsters is based on, and then that's just what we're just waiting for, that card to one day get printed. I guess that's just how it is. Godzilla King of Monsters has no real card to match the name under its block. There is a theoretical card. Just trying to see if I missed anything. Do you think that white should be able to interact on the stack? As if it doesn't already. I would imagine taxing spells like Mana Leak that exile the spell instead. Would that work, or is it too much of a color pry break? Imagine taxing spells like Mana Leak that exile the spell instead. That's too much of a counter spell. And they do have Mana Tie, that has been mentioned. but this is they don't make. They have Force Spike, for example, and this was in Planar Chaos. But I think the idea is that it is too much of a too much of a color pie break, and I'd be pissed again because like that would be then again borrowing stuff from blue and giving it to the other colors without giving. It's not like blue gets removal spells. It's not like blue gets pump spells. It's not like blue gets reanimate spells. It's not like there's a lot of stuff that blue does not get. It's not like blue gets big, beefy creatures. So, I mean, your OG question was, can white play on the stack? And I think yes, but it's not going to be in the form of like preventing stuff. I don't know if there's any sort of on the stack taxing effects that white would get. I can see spells that exile graveyards and stuff like that don't have to be like rest in peace. Just trying to think, like, now that I think of it, like white is the one that doesn't really have that. I guess you could say is correct. White does not play on the stack nearly as much as the other colors. They just mostly have these static abilities in play that are just always in effect, which, by the way, are more powerful. Is there any sets in MTG where they have mechanics from unique self-contained previous sets randomly printed? Where they have mechanics from unique self-contained yes, that would be Modern Horizons. Modern Horizons was brought back actually a bunch of non-evergreen mechanics. Modern Horizons brought like all the mechanics back. That's why that level up came from Rise of the Eldrazi? Yes, Rise of the Eldrazi, and never came back again, and then all of a sudden showed up out of the blue, out of nowhere, in Modern Horizons. So, we have a great conversation today so far. So, as we get into this conversation, go even further, I'd love to thank my sponsor, starting with the manabase.com, your home base. Never have anything prepared here. Your home base for everything Magic the Gathering. And, of course, the Manabase is sponsored by Fusion Gaming Online, and their deal of the week. The week is about to run out. So if you want to get 15% off all mystery booster singles and booster packs, you got to get in on the deal of the week at Fusion Gaming Online, my favorite local game store. I got all my mana crypts from Fusion Gaming Online, and by all I mean one. And we're also going to thank our sponsor, Mana Traders. Mana Traders is the premier place to rent Magic cards online, and you can support the channel by using my Mana Traders link in the description below, or you can get 15% off using my coupon code Nikachu. 15% off your first 3 months using my coupon code Nikachu. Gonna thank Mana Traders. Branch Walker's like, I think people are probably overacting about the Walking Dead stuff. Just curious, are you a Walking Dead fan? Well, I'm curious to see how it's going to play out. This is an experiment. Like, Wizards likes to poke and prod here, but I do get the impression, based on how deflated Aaron Forsyth was. I love someone, I laughed out loud. Someone in the chat, on Twitch chat, you had to be fast to read it, but someone in Twitch chat said, Aaron Forsyth looks like he wants to leave the room. And I don't know, it perfectly described his demeanor at the time. It looked really bad. No one looked like they wanted to be there. Everyone was just completely in shock. And then their explanation was so deflated, even though they answered basically all the questions. They didn't dodge any questions. They answered everything. Why isn't it Silver Border? Why wasn't it a Godzilla thing? Are there going to be other crossovers? Blah, blah, blah. What is your opinion on them doing a more remastered sets for paper as a way to have an easy draft format and reprint cards like Zendikar block with fetches and Jace? I think it's okay, so long as they make them unique in some capacity. I would like to see them a little bit more unique. I want there to be real collectability for cards. I really do. I think if And I'm speaking on behalf of like someone who has purchased a lot of foils. If I bought foils at a high price, it really sucks. Like I'll give you an example. Like let's see. Let's talk about Minamo. School at Water's Edge. So I'm for reprints, but not when you print the card identically to the old one. Say, look, hey, this is the current, this is the old card, and the foil was I don't know how much money, but like it's like basically worthless now because they reprinted almost an identical card. It's identical. And if I were coming into the game, if I didn't own this card already, and I just wanted to own a foil, I would for sure get this one because it's a million times cheaper. And the OG one is not going to retain any value because this is identical. It's got the same set. It has almost everything. The only difference is it's got the stupid Planeswalker symbol at the bottom left, but I think that will be worth like saving yourself like $80 when trying to buy this in foil. I am for reprints, but make them even use a different set symbol. The set symbol can turn me off sometimes. And I'll go the extra distance for the OG card. But this is too damn close. This is way too damn close for my tastes. And I don't own Thoughtseize. I never spell Thoughtseize correctly. Now, I don't own Thoughtseize, but I thought it was pretty stupid that they reprinted the OG art. Like, give it more arts and maybe... Hold on, how many times did they print the OG art? Oh, maybe I'm stupid. Look, they did this a few times already. I thought this was the first time they reprinted the OG art. No, this is not true. But to retain some collectability and value to the original card, which I think is cool. I think it's cool that there should be some collectability to this game. That it's hard to get the original Thoughtseize. You just keep reprinting Thoughtseize with different arts, and I think that's perfectly fine. And look, you make new and different arts, but then you like basically completely wreck the value of the original printing, the collectability of the original printing by just reprinting basically the same art over. Is it even the same flavor text? It's the same flavor text. They copied everything. Anyway, so this may not be a popular opinion, but this is my opinion. I don't really like seeing the super original. I don't mind seeing reprints, and I wouldn't mind seeing the original sets being reprinted, but give it like some new spice, new arts. It can be same cards or whatever. Give it a new flavor text. Give it a new set symbol. And it looks like, at least for the remaster, they are going to give it a new set. I think they're going to give it a new set symbol. This has a new set symbol. I'm fine with that. I think it's really cool that they're making this this art. I mean, the border with it. See the new border with the OG art. I'm totally fine. Well, anyway, they reprinted Chalice of the Void with the same art a million times, so it doesn't matter at this point. Part of the Wolves, do you really think that they will get rid of Standard, or did you just want to put it? I just put it out. That's just my random opinion. Like, that's my hot take that no one's talking about. Like, everyone's trying to fix Standard when I think... And by the way, if you watch my whole video, because the first 3 quarters talks about me making Standard seem obsolete, but the last quarter I say that Standard should be converted to a casual format. Like, we're not going to get rid of Standard. Standard can take the place of a format for people to get into, but make it a casual format. Let content creators like Saffron Olive give you 50 different cool janky decks that you can play in Standard and go to your F&M and play with, and then who cares what the result is. And you're probably going to be up against a lot of other people with janky decks because it's not a competitive format and pros aren't trying to break it, and Wizards won't showcase Standard as the premier set. Like, hey, look, everyone needs to get Okos, everyone needs to get Once Upon a Time, everyone needs to buy Omnats. Like that's not going to happen. If you don't showcase the format like that, then it can turn into more of a casual community-based format like Commander. And also, it's probably going to be a lot cheaper. Might not end up being better for the local game stores because I don't know how well they're going to like peddling around a bunch of $2 cards here and there. At least making something a competitive format pushes the price of cards on the secondary market, that is. But that was just Wizards has no intention of getting rid of Standard. I doubt that's even on their radar at all. That's just my my opinion coming out completely from left field. Oh, by the way, if there are any Among Us fans in the crowd here, us content creators are going to be playing Among Us later today, 3 o'clock Central Standard Time. A bunch of MTG content creators. Now, I don't know if these are confirmed users, but people in the it's all Magic content creators that are going to play. We've got Aspiring Spike, I believe Harry MTG. We got Squaw Chief. We've got Cherry X-Man. And I don't know if there's anyone else who's confirmed, but I don't know if these people are confirmed, but they're in the secret Among Us Magic chat right now. So if you want to see us play Among Us and accuse each other of being an imposter, then check this out. Check us out at 3 o'clock Central Standard Time. 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. Am I the only one who hates Among Us? Well, I've never played this game once. I'm not going to say I hate it, but I've never played. I have no opinion about it. I've watched other people play. They didn't mention them breaking their promise to the community. Well, Wizards has broken millions of promises. Like what the difference between breaking this promise and breaking the reserve list promise is this one isn't going to cost, well, it's not going to cost them money legally. It might cost them money in their bottom line, pending how many people buy this. Game of Thrones crossover next. Dragons will be busted. There you go. Commander Rule 0. Your play group may come up with whatever rules they like, including playing silver borders. There you go. So I can play. Oh my God. I'm going to, in my play group, play 1 or less. I'm not even going to tell them. I'm just going to play. I love 1 or less. Or sorry, 1 or more? No, more or less. I think this should be a Magic card. What, Scryfall doesn't have? It's more or less, right? Oh, do they not have silver border cards here? Look, I'm looking for more or less on Scryfall. I don't think they have silver border cards here. How dare you? What, do I have to Google this? Yeah, more or less. Here it is. I think this should be a Magic card. I would snap play this. This would be a 4 of in all my Merfolk lists. Add or subtract 1 or 1 from a number or number word on target spell or permanent until end of turn. This would be, I wouldn't say, it would be so versatile. You could kill mana dorks, for example, by taking away their 1 toughness. You could change the +1 on your Lord of Atlantis to give all your other Merfolk +2/+1 until end of turn. You can change how much damage Anger the Gods deals. So instead of dealing 3 damage, it just deals 2 damage and you save your board. It's so many things. Maybe before a Valakut goes off, you change the wording to deal 2 damage instead of 3, and maybe you can save yourself. It's got a lot of niche applications that I really like. I'm just going to throw this in one of my commander decks. And if they have a problem with it, and tell them they can go screw themselves. Nick, I love Standard. It's the only format I can study all the cards and build whatever creativity allows me. Although I might make a follow-up video about the Standard thing, because a lot of, you know what, a lot of people, and maybe I have a skewed biased group, like a lot of you are going to be Modern players, for example. A lot of people gave me negative feedback about Standard in general. Like they got it a lot. This was a common complaint. They got into Magic with Standard, and then they almost quit the game because they found out their cards were worthless after rotation. That was a piece of feedback that kept coming up over and over again. And it made me realize standard might not be the best entry point into Magic. Because if you start off with standard, you spend like $400 on your deck, and then all the cards become like $1 or $2 after rotation. That is not going to sit with you very well. One particular comment says like all my friends quit, and basically I quit with them, and it was and I don't know how they got back into the game, but eventually they did, and they just went back to modern. So I got some really unique feedback from that video that I've never heard anywhere else. So standard is like a double-edged sword for Wizards of the Coast. It is not a good entry point for Magic. It's still a fine format to play, and that's why I said, you know, it should be a casual format, but as an entry point into the game, it might be the wrong route. You'll have a lot more turnover in that format than you would in something like Pioneer, Historic, Modern, or Commander. Among Us is great. Sorry, Nick. Today I'm in the mood to discuss. On Eternal formats, I'm devoted to fish, but it's harder to read the decks. Yes. What do you think of M. Hayashi's version of Merfolk? Very playable. I mean, and he's made these decks very competitive. And I mean, the one plus to M. Hayashi that I can definitely relate to is he makes the decks as consistent as possible. A lot of 4-ofs, as many 4-ofs as possible. He's got a metagame in mind that he wants to beat, and he goes out and beats it. In Brazil, if you think you play Magic due to its financial value, you're going to have a bad time. What do you mean by that? You mean like everything is collapsing all the time, or everything is expensive? I don't know the meaning behind this. Oh, yeah, we had so much discussion. Okay, I'll still answer some questions, but don't forget, we do deck list review on this show. You need help with your deck list? You need some feedback? Go ! Deck review space, give the URL to your deck, and I'll leave any comments, and we will answer. And we, both myself and the community, will answer them. I'll leave this up here. Can you play Merfolk without Chalice, Force, and Vial? I think you need Vial. I mean, I won't say you need. Like, a lot of my budget decks did not play Vial, but like, if you want to have a relatively good deck, you need Vial. You do not need Force. You do not need Chalice. You can live without those two easily. You can replace those with just other counter spells. There's a lot. Like, even right now, I don't even care that much for Force, and Chalice is like hit or miss. But Vial is just not something that's replaceable or something to ignore, just given how clunky Merfolk is in general. Everything is expensive and the market is so volatile. Odds is you'll lose money is high. Okay. Well, I think the odds you lose money in general is high, but like if you play standard, like the thing is standard will invalidate your deck eventually. So you love your deck, you're having a lot of fun. Oh, rotation. Goodbye cards. Oh, by the way, they're worth nothing now. So your cards are worth nothing and you can't play your cards anywhere. They're worthless. Whereas with modern, your cards are generally worth something, but your deck is always playable. Even if the metagame is really bad, your cards are always playable. Your deck is always playable, as long as nothing got banned. Do you like exclusive set cards like Jumpstart is fair to modern players? Do you mean like Modern Horizons? Like Jumpstart never came out to modern. Basically, that was just actually Jumpstart was a paper format, right? I don't mind those formats. Honestly, I don't mind those formats. And I also don't mind if it threw the cards into modern. I really don't. I know they throw all these cards into Legacy, like whenever there's a new Commander deck or Commander cards, those cards go directly into Legacy, but they don't go into modern. I have no problem with them going into modern, to be honest. I would love to see more cards entering the modern arena. But I also think I'm in the minority. You know, after looking at the community and their perspective on how modern should be, I think the majority of modern players would prefer that modern barely moves. Like right now, modern is in a good spot, and if they didn't print cards for modern for another year, everyone would be happy. I think I prefer things shaken up over and over again. I think, but I'm super in the minority here. A lot more people prefer modern is stable. Modern does not move very much. Their deck is like a lot of people don't want to adjust. It's just simple as that. They don't want to adjust their deck to the changes of the metagame. They have their deck, they're happy with where they are. If it's tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, doesn't matter. They're happy where they are. And if new cards invalidate their deck in some means, they move down, especially if they move down anywhere in the tiers. So if they go from tier 1 to tier 2, they're pissed. If they go from tier 2 to tier 3, they're pissed. If they go from tier 3 to non-existent, they're pissed. So it appears that having Modern move, like, be stagnant is actually the best thing for the Modern community at large. I'm going to give my best piece of advice to everyone out there, though, especially for the Modern players: learn to change your deck, learn to adapt, and you'll have nothing to be upset about as things happen, because there will be change. And the whole Modern community is up in a roar, and they're always getting angry. And here's me, the Merfolk player. Here's the lone Merfolk player playing the tier 3 deck that is unplayable and is just a bad spirits deck, bad humans deck, bad elementals deck, and I'm still winning, and I don't care. Like, I'm the one who really doesn't care about any of the changes. The only thing I ever cried about was the existence of Mox Opal, but it's banned, so I have nothing to complain about anymore. Do you think Wizards will ban Uro in Modern? Eventually, yes. I actually do believe this. I don't know when. I don't have a time frame for when this is going to happen, but Uro is most definitely going to get banned eventually. I like change, but I don't like dumpster fires. Problem is, any change is usually a dumpster fire for somebody. Merfolk is solid tier 1.5. I hope everyone else also thinks that. You're biased. You hate it. No, no. It's not just Affinity. It's also Lantern Control, Hardened Scales Affinity, Krark Clan Ironworks, Wurza. It was not just Affinity. There was a lot of decks abusing Mox Opal. Cheerios, I hated that deck too. That was a turn 2 deck that was really hard to interact with. Speaking of change, I'm so curious what Modern Horizons 2 will bring. I know, and because, like, I thought Lava Dart. Let's get Lava Dart. Where's Lava Dart here? I thought Lava Dart was a card they created. It was only a reprint. They just printed it into Modern, but this is not the OG card. This is card from Judgment, and I've seen that art before. It just never clicked that they didn't. I thought they invented this card. It's like, oh my god, this is really busted. No, this is just a really old card that never saw play until now. That's interesting. That was a great selection, I guess. That was a great pick to bring into Modern. Even though it really, this card warps the format unexpectedly, but it warps the format. I'm in a business school taking marketing classes. I think Merfolk is way better than Spirits. I think Merfolk was way better than all of them. I think Merfolk is a tier 1 deck, but no one believes me. No one believes me. I have to get back to, like, pumping up Merfolk. Especially right now. Like, Merfolk is doing great right now. All right. You submitted your deck list. Let's get to some deck review. But I'm telling everyone, get used to change. If you can learn to change as Modern changes, you'll have never anything to complain about. All right, Reality's deck list has been chosen. Congratulations, Reality. You are the next contestant on deck list review. Oh, this is not a deck list. $100 budget poor folk deck. I've been trolled yet again. I want to keep this deck under $100, and I think you could really help with the list. Oh, so this is actually a serious question. So what isn't $100 now? This is relatively old. No, I made another one, didn't I? Hold on. See if I have something already on Mana Traders. Budget Merfolk. Where's Budget Merfolk? I actually made a Merfolk deck under... You want to see the most budget deck? I haven't made my video for this. Okay. Oops. I have a list here that is 3 ticks. You want to see a Merfolk list that's 3 ticks? I wouldn't say this is the best Merfolk list you can play, but this is 3 ticks. All right, people? And you can get you can borrow this list for free from Mana Traders. They have a 7 ticks free account. Please use my link in the description below. Lets them know that I sent you. You can sign up and get the 7 ticks account. That you can borrow free 7 ticks. So this is under Mana Traders. This is 3.2 ticks large. We have Benthic Biomancer, Silver Gill Adept, 3 Harbinger of the Tides, 3 Master of the Pearl Trident. This is one of the more expensive cards in the deck. I guess we could add a 4th one at this point. 4 is there another Master of the Pearl Trident? Why is there only 3? 75 cards. Whatever. Maybe it was too expensive at the time. 4 Merfolk Trickster, 3 Tidebinder Mage, 4 Marrow Regery, 4 Master of Waves, 4 Spell Pierce, 4 Spreading Seas, 4 Fairy Conclave, 19 Islands, 4 Soul Guide Lantern, 2 Damping Sphere, 2 Echoing Truth. Oh, this should be Enter the Royal. If I were to change anything. Let's change something here. Well, how do I edit the deck? Oh, here we go. Into the Royal. And then how do I put it on the sideboard? Into the Royal. There we go. And we have 4 Deprive, another Tidebinder Mage in the sideboard, and Ashok Dreamrender. Save the deck. Save to an existing deck. No saved deck yet. What? Am I not logged in? I'm not logged in. That's okay. It's all good. It's all good. Anyway, 3 ticks. Just add some Lord of Atlantis and you'll be good. But I swear I had another one. Budget Merfolk deck. 30 Lava Darts, 30 Mountains. Affinity is still a deck. It's just in the form of Hardened Scales Affinity. You can't play the classic one anymore. What are you people even talking about? No, oh, you're just trolling? Okay. Well, in that case, I might have re-trolled you with the 3 ticks account, but it's all good. Okay, so deck review pick. Although I was not actually trolling. That was legit 3 ticks account. Sorry, that was legit 3 ticks Merfolk. G-Force's deck list has been chosen. Oh, on Mox Field nonetheless. I love this site. Okay, we have Soul Herder, I think. Deputy of Detention, 3 Eternal Witness, 4 Icevan Quaddle, 1 Meddling Mage, a Skyclave Apparition, 2 Soul Herder, 1 Stonehorn Dignitary. God, that card is annoying. Venser, 4 Watch for Tomorrow, Aladdin Reese Call, Ephemerate, 3 Force Negation. You've got a decent mana base. Ether Goddess, Mind Sensor, 2 Purge, 2 Ceremonious Rejection, 1 Force Negation, Guy's Blessing, Knight of Autumn, another Meddling Mage. Do you need a second one? Because you do have... You have the Aladdin Reese Call anyway. Well, whatever. I'm not very familiar with the Soul Herder decks. So my only question is 2 Soul Herder too few, or is that enough? Does Merfolk Joe have a Soul Herder? Oh, no, I'm just going to look at... Hold on, let's look at Joe, MTG, Goldfish. I think he got a Soul Herder thing. Soul Herder list published. Is it M_ Joe? Soul Herder. See, all the many Soul Herders. Soul Herder. Should be called Soul Herder Joe. Oops, it's the wrong. 2 Soul Herder. All right. He was playing Uro. He beat me last time. I think mostly off the back of Uro. Uro was actually a beating. I was not expecting that card in the not that it mattered, but I wasn't expecting the where's Uro? Uro in the Soul Herder deck. Ramped him up more, gained more life. It was very, very frustrating. Could not beat it. Yeah, quite a few 5-0s with the Soul Herder deck. All right, so Soul Herder. All right, 2 Soul Herders it is. I don't really have any good feedback because I do not. This is a toolbox deck that I'm not very familiar. Like, I don't know all the tricks with. I don't know how important it is to have Meddling Mage in the main deck, for example, over Uro. I'm sure Skyclave Apparition is a huge boost to this deck. Almost, it looks like a huge upgrade. List usually only plays 1. Why 1? It's like why this is called Soul Herder. Otherwise, this deck should be called Watcher for Tomorrow. Hydrosa says, I gotta go do some math. See you later. I bought the cards for Soul Herder in paper. It looks fun. Oh, it is absolute. Like, so we've been asked, like, you know, what deck is going to be, what is a good value-based deck? This is like the value deck of Modern. This is like maybe the value deck of Magic. I don't know of a deck that is more value-like. Also, this deck also sort of looks like a Commander deck with a lot of 1-0s. But you know what? Those toolbox decks are always like that anyway. Let's compare it to Joe. What did Joe do? How old is this list? A little bit old, but just a month ago. Just to compare. Hostage Taker. Siege Rhino, Stonehorn Dignitary. He preferred Corda Calling over what here? More Aladimri's Call, because you have to pay to find the creature and then cast it. This is similar, except you actually put the creature into play at instant speed. That might be important in a that might be important in a Force Negation metagame. And by the way, I think Control is on the way up in terms of numbers because of the combo decks that are rising up. So when combo rises, Control will be there to meet them. And so being able to interact with them at instant speed, because here you can Aladimri's Call, but then you have to play the creature on your turn, and you'll be playing on their. But I don't know what the matchup is like for this versus Control. Actually, I have no idea. Merfolk Joe, are you out there? You want to get on the show really quickly? Where's Merfolk Joe? I can send him a link. I can get him onto the show. Those are the only differences I can make. You're playing Aladimri's Call. He's playing Corda Calling. And I can see why. You play around. So let's look up like just Soul Herder period. Can we look up Soul Herder? Okay, hold on. I'm just going to look up Soul Herder deck MTG Goldfish. What are other people doing? This got a 5-0 just like yesterday. Oh, but they're on the Aladimri's Call route. Kalingi just subscribed for 4 months in a row. Thank you very much, Kalingi. Call is better in the Vile version. Okay. Why is... Oh, yeah. Okay, I get it. So you call... So if you're playing Ether Vile, you call, and then you Vile it in play. That makes a lot of sense to me. I'm learning. That's why we got the community out here. That's why we got Monster CC here. I think it's known that Merfolk is hard to play, and that's why people are not playing it. I don't know if it's known. I think it's just taught. People pick up Merfolk, they try, and are like, this is not going their way. I don't think the influence would go that far. Their arrogance will be their downfall. I have no idea what this is in reference to. I like the frog in the sideboard in MJo's list. Don't know if it's good. Just like it. It beat me. I was up against Merfolk Joe and I lost to him. Very cleanly, by the way. I really hated Uro. Yeah, this like all these cards are very difficult for me to beat. I have to like dismember this thing on their turn, and they can still save it with like was it Ephemerate? They can blink the stupid thing, return target creature you control, then exile, and then return it back to the battlefield. So they have ways of like protecting their creatures from removal. Piloting a deck is a real skill. Oh, I was referring to people who underestimate Merfolk Nikachu. That's right. Let them underestimate me. I'll scoop up all the victories. I have no solid feedback here. As far as I'm concerned, this list looks good, but like that's my. I don't know how this deck should be interacting with the metagame. So hold on. You do have the Ether Vial with the Eladrin Call. That looks fine. Looks good, and that's all I can say. I have no good feedback. Sorry about that. I mean, the list looks solid in general. We would need a more Soul Herder specialist to say what cards are well and what cards are positioned or not positioned in the metagame right now. But good luck with the list. You're welcome, GeForce. Are you the one that asked what for a value deck? I can't remember. Oh, the Spore Frog. Here, let's get Spore Frog. So Spore Frog, 1 green, 1/1 creature, sack, prevent all combat damage that would be dealt this turn. And how does this get looped? Does it get looped with Eternal Witness somehow? Like you blink Eternal Witness every turn, you put a Spore Frog in play? I can't remember, but this thing keeps... There are ways of chaining this card. It just keeps coming back. And like Merfolk can't do anything about it. Merfolk just wins with combat damage. That's how it is. That's how it'd be done. No Decklist left to review. All right, so is there any other comments? What are people talking about here? The fact that makes me mad is that a lot of people think that Merfolk is just a stupid aggro deck and that you don't need any brain to play it. It doesn't make me mad, but it's certainly an ignorant like opinion. You know, if you don't want to use your brain to play it, then you're not going to win with it. Like that's my take. And if you want to win with it, you got to use your brain. You got to use your brain big time. Merfolk is a big brain deck. Are you going to play Spirits and Pioneer again? Maybe when Pioneer... I still have my Spirit cards. Like, I bought them in paper, so I feel somewhat committed to this deck. The problem is, like, Wizards is not making Pioneer popular. So I just stick to the modern content, because that's what gets the most views, most everything, most attention. But just to prove, like, I am prepared for Spirits. I am absolutely prepared for Spirits. Where's my Spirit cards? Somewhere halfway here. Here's my Spirit cards. I got Spirit cards. I'm prepared. So when Pioneer becomes popular again, boom, the Spirit cards are coming out. I don't know if it's going to be Bant or blue-white. Honestly, I'd prefer to play blue-white over Bant. Oh, and we got an upgrade, don't we? We have that Spirit... we have that new exile target creature. Werebear Activist, more than the difficulty of piloting Merfolk, I think the Jund-like 50-50 matchups of Merfolk are the reason people don't pick up the deck more. A lot more competitive players want a deck with free wins, and Merfolk simply has to grind out every win with incremental value, and that is very punishing of any misplays. Not only that, so if you're going to play a 50-50 deck, which one is easier? The one that has big creatures and a lot of direct removal and interaction, like Jund. Get your big Tarmogoyfs, easy. Thoughtseize that card out of your hand, kill that creature. Or you gotta like very delicately win with like creature spells like Merfolk Trickster and how many tricky cards do we even play with anymore? Brazen Borrower, and then try to muscle your way around with like these basically grizzly bears. I mean, it's Merfolk is mostly 2/2s for 2 with some abilities attached to it. All vulnerable, all die. It's a funny thing about Merfolk, like everything dies. We just have to like grind out or like position our creature, like flash in the creatures when the opponent is tapped out to overwhelm them. So it's very you need to play at a different angle than you normally would, like a zoo deck or a prowess deck or something. You just can't always go all out. Very rarely, like I like the option to go turn one creature into Lord, and win, but very rarely the game plays out like that. It's like first off, I rarely get those hands, and second, you need not only the hand, but then the right opponent for that to even work, because you can almost guarantee your opponent's going to interact with you on some level, killing the creatures, thought seizing stuff, putting a big blocker in on the battlefield. Just made a Lord of Atlantis altar. Nice. Collection show? Maybe we can do that one day. I mean to make like a video about my collection. Maybe I can squeeze it in today. Maybe I can do something like that. Where is the mutate mechanic in Modern? Does not have a home. There was one mutate card actually that saw play. What is the one is it when it mutates or when it deals damage it destroys artifacts and enchantments? What is that card called? I saw that card get play. Gem Razor. This card saw play. Oops. This card saw play. Also, I've had some like, how do I put it? So this, by the way, this card, 4 mana for a 4/4 creature, which is fucking awesome by itself. That, like, for a mutate creature, as reach and trample by default, that is awesome. That is a very strong card. And then you can mutate for 3 mana. Whenever this creature mutates, destroy target artifact or enchantment opponent controls. This card is very good. Probably underplayed in Modern. And obviously can see a lot of play. There's tons of artifacts and enchantments in Modern. There's tons of them. This card is very strong. I guess it just needs the right deck. I don't know. Can Jund play this? Reach and trample? 4 mana, 4/4 creature? That's good. That's good. I should put the microphone closer to myself. I hear myself on replay. When the microphone's close, it sounds amazing. But then this cord is in my way. Can you see the cord? You can't see the cord. That's good. Can you see the cord when we make this full screen? You can't see the cord. Can I push the cord? See, look at the cord here. It floats in front of me, but whatever. My sexy, sexy voice. Yeah, so Gem Razor. Oh, you have a lot of lag, Monster CC. I asked this question 3 minutes ago. So, yeah, Gem Razor is quite good. Now, Sea Dash or Octopus? See, here's the thing. I really want, okay, you know how you all start with this first deck you ever played in Magic? Everyone knows that. What's your deck? What is the first deck you ever played in Magic? Your first brew that you made yourself. What is the first deck? And you played the hell out of it with your friends. What is your first deck you ever played? We got Mildak, we have Ramp, Eldrazi. Holy crap, what a time to be alive. Pirates, Blue-Green Mad. No, now that's a deck. Now that's what I'm talking about. The real janky stuff. Kitkin and Lorwyn. Now that's what I'm talking about. We got Elves. Mutate is a bad mechanic. Instead of getting 1 for 1, you get 5 for... Well, that's the thing. Situationally, you can get 2 for 1. You get 5 for 1? What? I think you meant 2 for 1. But you don't... But that's the thing. You don't have... Because of Mutate, you don't have to actually play the Mutate thing. And with the what's it called? Brazier? What's it called? Gem Razor? You're at least going to destroy something. So it's going to be a 1 for 1 interaction, even if they kill the thing. We got big sea monsters, bad Boros aggro, Saprolings. I love it. Saprolings. Boros aggro, return to Ravnica. 4-color bad stuff. Elves, red white aggro with mono 6 drops and 15 lands and original. There we go. I don't know. You know what? I bet. I mean, I hear a lot of people, they make decks. They make 60-card decks with like 15 land mana bases. This is so common. I hear this all the time. And I think what it is they got that advice from draft decks, and then they try to and which is a 40-card deck, which is fine. 15 lands in a 40-card deck is not too bad. And then they applied that to their 60-card deck, and that's where they went. They went offline, or they steered in the wrong direction. Rules Committee just confirmed that they will not be banning the Walking Dead cards, RIP Commander. But anyway, on the topic of OG decks that you played, upgraded my Jace Planeswalker deck from Ixalan to Simic Merfolk. Okay, that was an amazing jump. Mono green snakes. There we go. So here's the deal. This was my first deck. My win condition was Thieving Magpie. It was a 4-mana 1/3 creature. Actually, this was not the only win condition. It was a mono blue permission deck with Thieving Magpie, with Masticore. This was also a win condition in there. Where's the OG Masticore? Oh, this is it. This just has a bad art. Can we get the OG art? Here we go. So Masticore was a card. I played with things like Powder Keg. Oops. As removal, and I played with a lot of counter spells, tons of counter spells. So here's the deal. I have some interest, but I don't really want to waste the time of rebuilding my very first. So if you don't know what Thieving Magpie is, Thieving Magpie is a 4-mana 1/3 creature with flying. When Thieving Magpie deals damage to the opponent, you draw a card. I have some interest to rebuilding my mono blue permission deck in Modern. I had Navinral's Disc. I did. What is the modern day Navinral's Disc? But I think it's slightly more expensive now. I think it's you pay 4 and you have to pay 5 to sack everything. There is a new Navinral's Disc in Modern. I don't remember what it's called though. It sees no play at all. But the point is, I would just upgrade this deck with like actual good cards. So instead of Thieving Magpie, I was thinking, what would be a very good Thieving Magpie replacement? Sea Dasher Octopus. What would be like a good Masticore replacement? Probably something like Walking Ballista. Or I would even play Karn the Great Creator. And again, I would still play counter spells. I would play all the counter spells, Force Negation, Spell Snare. Probably not Deprive. Definitely Mana Leak. Oh, Perilous Vault. Now, I also played Mishra's Factory. Exile all non-land permanents. I might play this, because I'm probably going to play with more permanents now than I did before. I played with Quicksand, but that's unplayable right now. I played with Quicksand. That's probably unplayable. But it had a lot of counter spells, artifacts, and utility lands. I would definitely play with Mutavault. So this would be my Mishra's Factory, because I played with Mishra's Factory at the time as a partial win condition. It wouldn't be... No, it has to be counterspell control. It's sort of, in a way. Vantress Gargoyle is a decent depending on graveyard. Vantress Gargoyle? Can't attack unless defending player has 7 or more cards in their graveyard. Can't block. Each player puts the top card. This is probably not something I want because I also don't want to fill my opponent's graveyard too easily. I was thinking instead of Powder Keg. So Powder Keg, by the way, 2 mana at the beginning of your upkeep, put a fuse counter on it, and you can sack it, destroy each artifact and creature with converted mana cost equal to the number of fuse counters on Powder Keg. Doesn't destroy enchantments or planeswalkers, but we have a replacement, Ratchet Bomb. So we got Ratchet Bomb here. So I could rebuild my OG deck. I'm just thinking about, I don't want to waste too much time doing this, and maybe if I play a league, I would just play one. But the point is, like, I am so much of a better player than I was before. I am curious to know how well I could rebuild this thing and maybe make it competitive in today's modern metagame. Again, mono blue. I'm not going to splash any other color. We got to do it the hard way. I'm not going to go down the mono blue Tron route. See, essentially, it's like, do it. If anything, I could advertise it as a Sea Dasher Octopus deck. Sea Dasher Octopus finally sees playing modern. What's the meaning? I think it just stands for original. Original. The OG. Oh no, the meaning is like you got the first one. It was the first. Sounds like Mono Blue Tempo to me. Old school style. Mono Blue Tempo runs a lot of permission. Well, but back then, I see a Tempo deck as a deck like with creatures, or more creatures. This is just literally going to be a permission deck with some creatures to close out the game. Some. Probably going to have to play Dismember. I have no idea what this deck looks like. Oh my god, I just want to brew this thing right now. Fuck it, we're brewing this. I'm gonna make the deck. We can do it on stream. We're fucking doing it live. I gotta add this. I just want to know what it looks like. Yeah, fuck it, we're doing it live. It's a control deck with an Ophidian. Yeah, that's the thing. So my deck was, I did not base my deck on the Ophidian deck. However, I based my deck off of the opinions of people who built a deck, who built the Ophidian deck. So my deck ended up being very similar to that. Okay, so now how do I'm going to share Magic the Gathering Online. Okay, so Modern plus Magpie Resurrected. I'll just call it Counter Spell Control. Even though counter spells suck today. They really suck. This is a modern deck. All right, I have to, hold on. Display cards I don't, how do I display cards I do not own? Not, oh, 0, right? Okay, hold on. How about C Dasher? Is that going to show up? Versions not collectible? Or do I have to give it the hyphen? There we go. Oh, sweet. So I need 4 of these. What is that commander deck in the background? I have a competitive EDH. Well, I don't know if I can call it competitive EDH, but we do have a Thassa. I do have a Thassa deck here. But it's not like a Delver thing in the Ice deck. No, it will not be a thing. It will not be a thing in the Ice deck. What else do I want in this deck? Okay, I need counter spells, mana. Hold on, I need a mana base. So Mutavault. I have no idea how well this is going to work. I need. Probably I can play with Fairy Conclave, right? More creatures. I'm probably not going to do much on turn 1 anyway. I'm trying to make it as similar as possible to the OG deck that I play. I'll probably put Perilous Vault in just for the fact that that's what I used to play with. What else do we need here? We need... what's the land? I don't play with these cards very often. Field of Ruin. Probably need like maybe even 4 Field of Ruins. Okay, now I need a bunch of snow lands. It's so picky about the hyphen. I have 12 lands in here so far. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I don't know how many lands a control deck should have. I'm going to guess 12 is okay. I could be wrong. Have you played against Spirits with Skyclave in it yet? I have not at all. Curious to see how that matchup is now with the upgrade. Oh, have I played against Spirits? I have played against Spirits, but I don't know if I saw the Skyclave card. I beat Spirits, though. Oh, Castle Vantress. Absolutely. We need Castle Vantress. Probably I can live with like 2 of them. Hopefully. Baral? No, that wasn't in the spirit of my deck. Okay, so what do we I need Ratchet Bomb. I have no idea how many Ratchet Bombs I should play. At least 2. Damn, you're right. Can I play... I don't know if I can play Sanctuary in this deck if I'm going to be playing the Fairy Conclave, but it feels like that's something I should have in here. Yeah, I said Ballista. Let's get Karn the Great Creator. Because, I mean, like, why not? It was... The thing about the deck is that it could play... It had the... I like that I could play blue and art and colorless stuff at the same time. So we need like Force of Negation, probably. I don't know how many of these things we want. 2, 3. Probably put a 4th one in the sideboard. We need counter spells. Spell Snare. 1, 2. I'm just throwing a lot of random counter spells in here. Yeah, let's get the Walking Ballista. 1, 2, and probably 1 to the sideboard. What are some generic cards? I could probably play even Chalice of the... I could probably play Chalice of the Void in this deck, to be honest. Of the Void. Maybe I should have like 4 of them in the sideboard. This is like mono blue Tron minus the Tron aspect of it all. Probably need some Dismembers. I need Mana Leak. I don't know how many Mana Leaks. Cryptic, yeah, I should have Cryptic in here. Archmage. Oh, I would have loved Archmage's Charm. Can I make it work? I have so many colorless lands. Well, maybe I don't have so many colorless lands because this is going to be a blue land a decent chunk of the time. Do I just need more lands in the deck if I want to play with more lands? I need Archmage's Charm, though. And it's good to have counter spells that do something else at the same time. Like, so this is not going to be dead against like a counter spell deck or an anti-counter spell deck. Is this a Merfolk deck or a control deck? This is definitely a control deck. This is, yeah, it's basically Counterspell Tribal. Yeah, we gotta have some Snapcaster Mages. I don't mind. Snapcaster Mages is not called Snapcaster Mage. Okay, hold on. Ratchet Bomb was OG to my deck idea, or my original deck. I don't mind the Field of Ruin. Can't remember how many mutable... I would love to see my original list, because it was just full of one-ofs and stuff like that. A bunch of crappy one-ofs. So what are general Karn targets? Like Trinisphere or something like that? What are all the things people get? I may not be able to run Mystic Sanctuary because of all my creature lands. Because I have a lot of creature lands here. Torpor Orb. Relic. I own Relic. Yeah, we can add one Ballista to the sideboard. Ensnaring Bridge. So I can still like lock people. I can cheese lock people out all the same. Coding, that's a card I can remember. Still have 9 more cards left in the main deck. Well, I need to start putting in other planeswalkers. We can put in things like Jace. All these well, too many Jace cards. Jace, the Mind Sculptor. Jace might not be good. We'll throw in one. Narset for sure. Probably is very good against Uro. I should like main deck Ashiok for crying out loud. Muyan Ling might not be too bad in this deck, actually. Muyan Ling might not be too bad. Yeah, we need Ashiok at least somewhere. I don't know if in the main deck or the sideboard. At least sideboard. Obviously is an obvious include. Memory Adapt? I don't know what that is. Oh, this is a bit expensive. I know, I can see where you're going, but a bit expensive for me. I'd rather top the curve off at 4. We have like 7 cards at 4. Am I supposed to have Remand in this deck? I don't know. So we have my win condition. Where's my win condition? Here's my win. Here's my squiggly win condition. I was thinking about opt, but I don't know anymore. I don't know about opt. Maybe I'm supposed to have opt in this deck. I know in my original deck I didn't have opt, and I also know that there's a lot of people playing Remand is too soft if I'm on control. I also know that there's a lot of control decks that are just not even playing opt anymore. Now I'm wondering if I should just play Dark Slick Shores so I can like just save myself some life with Dismember and play more Dismembers. Because Dismember is pretty well positioned right now in Modern. Like it's pretty good. What other tricky things that I would have wanted to do in the past, but I just can't do it now? Yeah, I know they have Blutron has Cyclonic and Condescend. Mutate the octopus on a conclave. Splash green for Uro. Ugin sideboard? I think that's too aggressive. Is that a normal thing? I mean, Ugin is still a powerful card. I mean, if I'm going to play a big card, I might as well. It would be Ugin. You could play maybe Spatial Contortion with all that brown mana. I don't have that much. I only have 8. I mean, it's okay. I don't know if it's enough. I mean, if I went up on enough brown mana, I could play Thought-Knot Seer. We have 6 cards. I don't have many 1-drops. This is what I have at 1 mana. This is what I have at 1 mana. I'm going to put this into play tap pretty often, though. What else can I do here? Should I have, like, just 4 Chalice of the Voids? Oh, that's not bad. That's not a bad idea. Ancestral Vision for more cards. Let's do that. That's a good one drop. I have time. I have time for this thing to resolve. I'll get there, I hope. Oh yeah, we need Ether Gust. We should probably also have extra relics just for the mirror. Uh-oh, I ran out of space. Hold on, why are all my walking blisters here? I don't need 2 walking blisters in the sideboard. How many counter spells do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I feel like I don't have that many counter spells. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Well, we have a we have the Chalice plan post board, I guess. If we play so many relics, do we need Ashiok? Yes. I think we don't actually have that many relics. I mean, maybe Karn the Great Creator represents relics too, but I don't actually think we have that many relics. Maybe more bounce? Well, the idea is if it enters the battlefield, I want to blow it up with Ratchet Bomb. So maybe this is where we get Perilous Vault. I think we're going to play a game. Well, I don't know. It will be a pain in the ass to borrow the cards and then send them back. Borrowing cards are easy. Sending them back is not so easy. Oh, this card just seems a bit much because it blows up everything of mine. Exile Perilous Vault, exile all non-land permanents. This list looks great. Yes, everything looks great on paper. And we could replace Castle Ventress and the Fairy Conclaves for more islands, and so that we have the Mystic Sanctuary interaction. But I don't know yet. Run a Borrower. Oh, maybe Borrower is good. Yeah, Borrower is actually smart. Some early game interaction. Well, Crucible Worlds could be in the sideboard, because we do have the Karn packet. We are playing with Karn the Great Creator. This seems like a Mystical Dispute deck. Win by making opponents sad with infinite counters. Where's Deprive? No Deprive. Control doesn't like Deprive, because Control doesn't want to... Control doesn't want to, what's it called? Bounce lands back to their hand. Search for Iskant is a possibility, but what can I remove now? I don't mind the card selection from Search for Iskanta, although I might blow it up with my Ratchet Bomb occasionally. You want Tormod's Crypt? Okay, that's smart. Although I think I have a lot of game against Oops All Spells. I can counter some rituals. I've counters for just like a lot of generic stuff. Counter target spell, counter target spell, counter target spell. And then post board, hopefully we just completely wipe them out. Okay, so we'll take out 1 relic, put in 1 Tormod's Crypt. Why can't too many crypts? Here's Tormod's Crypt. 1 card I own. I actually have space for 1 more card in my sideboard. As foretold, I think it's too slow. Time warp easy. Mono blue control. I think if there's something I need to focus on more, it's how to deal with permanents. Maybe we should have Mu Yan Ling. Or is it just Mu? Ugh. No, it's Yan Ling. So here's Mu Yan Ling. Until your next turn, up to one target creature gets -2, -0, and loses flying. So decent against prowess cards, and we can create blue elementals. But a little soft. It would be nice, because this does not interact with creatures. This can interact with some creatures. Psionic Blast! You don't like Narset too much? I think not. Well, I'm not sure. But at the very least, this will be card advantage. And also, it will stop... Oh, it's not... I'm enlarging these cards, and it's not showing up for the rest of you. That's interesting. But the point is, do you have a way of casting visions for free? Nope. We have no way of casting this for free. Oh, if we're playing with Jace the Mind Sculptor, we should play with some fetch lands. Well, we have Field of Ruin. That can be considered a pseudo fetch land. So we have our anti-Tron cards. Are we just boned against Tron, or do we have a chance? Is it just a bunch of counter spells and Field of Ruin enough to beat a Tron deck? EE for one color. It's not that bad of an idea, but I think Ratchet Bomb will still be okay there. Need Damping Sphere? Okay, so we can put Damping Sphere on the sideboard. I don't know if it's the best Karn target, but yeah, we can do that. We have Ashiok. I'm hoping the Chalice of the Voids are going to beat the aggro decks. Like, that's the plan against aggro. I think Lotus Bloom is a bit fancy for this archetype. Yeah, Vendilion Click really sucks right now. I wouldn't mind it. I love the tricky cards. I love tricky cards. I think Vendilion Click was just going to get hammered by all the 1 toughness stuff. I think. Like, I don't know. I think. Oh, this is cool. This is a cool list. This is going to be a long Coffee and MTG. So maybe, like, anyway, this is basically, like... And I'm certain this could get refined a little bit, but I mean, this is the original Nikachu. This is like the original Nikachu deck in modern form. I mean, this is what drew me in a lot of ways to Merfolk, because I love counter spells, I love blue creatures, and I love utility lands. I love the Mutavault. I love the Fairy Conclave. I love the Castle Vantress. I love the Field of Ruin. And I love artifacts like Ratchet Bomb, Walking Ballista. I mean, that's why in Merfolk, and you can see the parallels here. I got the blue creatures. I got the counter spells. I got Ether Vial, Relic of Progenitus, Chalice of the Void. I love that stuff. How this actually plays out, who knows? How many win conditions do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 Squiddy. Actually, the Squid and Brazen Bar are going to be great matches. They're going to work very well together. Or how does the Narset Lock combo work? Do we want Damping Matrix? Probably not, because I don't think there's enough decks that I need Damping Matrix for. It's a great card, but I probably don't need it for a lot. Well, I don't know how... Actually, to be honest, I don't know how... Maybe this deck can play it better than, say, a Merfolk deck. Why shouldn't this have Ether Gust? This should have Ether Gust. So what do we take out? Force Negation and maybe... 1 Relic? Because I already have a lot of, like, graveyard hate with Ashiok, so I don't think I need as many relics. I have Tormod's Crypt here. Jace, yeah, Jace is a, like, win condition, too. Should Force Negation be main? Absolutely. It's the only absolutely, Force Negation should be main. Probably I should have... Probably should make room for the last Force Negation. Torpor Orb is going to be great. I have 1 Jace. But we have 4 Sea Dasher Octopus to keep drawing those cards, get that value. Wormcoil is nice, but it's probably a bit clunky. Actually, maybe I should have a random Wormcoil engine in the sideboard. Just something to do with when I have a lot of mana. Dump 1 Chalice. You know what? A deck like this, I think I want as many Chalice of the Voids as possible, because against the aggro decks that I need to beat, I'm going to really need them. I will agree that I need to put... I should throw one more Force Negation somewhere, though. Contra's like, I just want to see you play this thing. Do we have time? Fuck it. Let's play like a round with this. You guys are getting me hyped. I'm getting hyped. This is gonna be like a really long Coffee and MTG where we play like Decklist review turned into me making a deck. I just hope the mana base works. This is a lot of brown mana that has to be converted for Cryptic Command. This is technically 3. I mean, by the time we get to 4 mana, the Field of Ruin might be online, but not always. Okay, what do I need? What do I need to borrow? Let's go. Okay, how about this? Do I do this on Coffee and MTG? I'm not going to do this on Coffee and MTG. I'm going to restart the stream on Twitch, and then we'll take it from there. So for everyone on Coffee and MTG, thank you very much for showing up. And if you want to see this list being played, it probably is already published on my streams channel. And yeah, so thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you at the next cut. And for everyone watching live, let's borrow this thing and get it in there. See you next time.